Let me ask you something. Have you ever been hurt so bad that even when you feel good, something feels off? Like you're functioning, but you're not free. You go to work, handle business, show up, do what you have to do, but something has changed inside of you. And if we being real, it's because somebody hurt you. You never really healed from it. And now you walking around with something that most people can't see. You'll ask me, well, what's that, Stan? Well, let's talk about it to see if it's inside of you and then what you can do to change it. And sometimes when it comes to bitterness, we don't think that we are bitter because the way that we operate, society says that it is okay. It's okay to say, oh, well, I don't have any friends. It's okay to say, well, I don't fool with them no more. It's okay to say all those things. But to be honest, sometimes we assume how people feel without actually having a conversation. That's one of the problems is that we would get in our feelings about a situation. It will build up bitterness inside of us without us having a conversation with the person and saying, hey, you said this to me, it hurt my feelings, and this where we at with it. Or you did this to me, it hurt my feelings, and this where it's at with it. Here where we are at with it. We don't say that. We tend to go to somebody else and start to gossip and say, hey, this person did so and so to me. Now I'm hurt by it. That person might have the same hurt inside of them. You go to them, they say, hey, I got hurt by the same thing, or I got hurt by the same person. Let us join forces together and dislike this person and build up bitterness and spread it about this person to make other people feel the way we feel so we can go against them when all it took was a conversation to solve it. I ain't gonna say our our maturity level has to grow in order to have an adult conversation to people that hurt us, have an adult conversation to ourselves, and some things we got to let go because certain things people have said or done, they might didn't think that it affected you that way, and they done went on about their life. And you know what gets on some people's nerves is that when they go to people and the people tell them, hey, I'm sorry that happened to you, and this, I know that happened to you, and it was bad. Whatever I said, whatever I did, it was bad, but, I'm sorry. They might be nonchalant about it, and that might make the person upset because this person was nonchalant about my feelings, but it was your feelings. You didn't get the apology that you wanted or how you wanted it, and since you didn't get it how you wanted it, the way that you wanted, you still bitter. You still upset about the situation. So nothing is going to please you unless you go in there and work on it yourself. That's what it's gonna come down to. If you gonna go in there and work on that thing and let it go yourself. It's been some situations that it's some people that I done talk to, and I say, I'm not gonna call out their names, but they may have went to, just say we're gonna say they went to an event because that's a big thing going to conferences and all that, right? And so certain people didn't recognize them the way they want to be recognized. This goes on in church, organization. They don't get recognized. Not that that person might have something on their mind, or not that the person was intentionally not seeing them or didn't want to speak to them or didn't want to fool with them. Well, you don't know what's going on. And you got offended by something that somebody didn't directly do to you that you wanted them to do for you, and you get upset because this person didn't speak or this person didn't interact with me the way I wanted them to interact with me. So now I'm offended because this person didn't act the way I wanted them to act when I met them or when I was around them. Now, they feel some type of way about me. Oh, they don't like me. When that might not even be the case. See, we are so self-centered that we never think about what somebody else is going through. Let me say that again. We are so self-centered that we never think about what the other person might be going through, the reason they might be acting the way that they acting. We don't take that into consideration. We just take into consideration our feelings, what we think about the situation, and how we are affected by the situation. Not knowing that that person might have just lost their parents. That person might be going through it in their marriage. That person might be going through it physically in their body. Their mental state might not be in the best place. But they pushing through, and because they pushing through and they didn't treat you the way you want to be treated, and your feelings hurt, now you feel some type of way about the person. Not that they did something directly to you, but you feel some type of way about them just because you didn't get the experience you wanted. How selfish is that? How selfish is that? And let me get right here, man. You know, I like to go to my favorite book, Hebrews 12 and 15, and it states, see, Hebrews 12 and 15, and it states, see to it that no one falls short of grace of God, and that no bitter roots grows up to cause trouble and defile many. No bitter roots. So it goes deep down, right? Because most of the things that grow, you can't see the roots. You can't see the roots until it starts to produce or it starts to grow up out of the ground. You don't see the roots. And if you ever looked at a tree, when a tree is dying and it's rotting out, you see the leaves, you never see the roots. You just see the tree collapsing. You see the branches might be falling off. You might see some of the bark might be falling off depending on the type of the tree. The wind blow by, a big branch fall off. So the tree is actually dead and the roots have died underground. You can't actually see it, but you know, and that's how people are. Deep down inside of you, your heart is not right. Deep down inside of you, that bitterness is in you inside out. People can see it within your conversation, the fruit that you bear, the things that you say. People can hear it and they can feel it. That's why they don't want to be around you that long. Or since they offended, or since they have bitterness, they join into your bitterness crew. Y'all feel offended and bitter together. Especially if it's somebody or a person that both of y'all got offense together. That's the two things that people bond together. Is it from trauma or it's from a person? That's how two people bond, because you did me like that, so we gonna join together, join forces against you to spew out as much bad rhetoric about you as we possibly can because of our experience with you. And see, most of the time when this affect us, when it is affecting, because I done had bitterness too, a lot of times you still smiling, still going on with life. You still joking around. You still being who you are, right? But internally, you replaying the conversation that was had. You holding grudges. You feeling a certain way about people. And this continues to grow. Have you ever been around, let me ask you this. Have you ever been around somebody, I'm going to just use work for example, right? If you go into a new job and the first thing somebody come up to you say, oh, don't fool with them. Oh, don't talk to them. Oh, don't. Yeah, Lee, I just got here. How I know who to talk to, who not to talk to, or whatever. I understand you telling me things to watch out for, but as soon as I get here, you talking about who don't do this, don't do. That person that got offended. That person might have a little bitterness. I'm not saying that they shouldn't come to you and warn you about certain things, but golly, I just started. And let me say this clearly. If you don't deal with hurt, your hurt gonna start dealing with you. Your hurt gonna start dealing with you. And see, there's a couple of things that happen. Like, in some instances, this how some of this stuff happens, right? You trusted somebody, they betrayed you. You loved somebody and they played you. You showed up for people and they didn't show up for you. Now, instead of dealing with that pain, you know what we do? I'm cool. I ain't gonna worry about it. I don't care. I'm moving on. You know, people, you know, one thing that's always funny is like people play so tough, play so hard, like stuff don't bother you. But in all reality, when people say stuff not bothering them, it's really bothering them because you had to say something. I'm just saying you had to say something. If you throw a rock at a dog, it's gonna hurr. If you have a patient that had surgery, if you poke the area that they had the surgery at, they gonna move, they gonna jump, they might say something. That's what happens to you when you go around and you say, well, I don't care. I don't this, that's that poking. I don't. Cause I'm gonna say this. I ain't saying that you don't care. I'm not saying that. But some people, when they don't care, man, they don't say nothing about it. They just walk off. It is what it is. It's over with. I'm done with it. Let's go. I ain't gotta talk about it no more. And see, when we don't deal with that pain and sit down and have when we don't deal with that pain and sit down and have a conversation with ourselves, we started acting out without us even notice. Because once that root is buried, and it's something has to produce from that root. So that from that root of bitterness, certain things, certain ways that you start to act to come up. You'll start thinking, oh, people ain't real. Everybody got an agenda. I don't trust nobody. And it feels justified, but one thing I tell you, you don't realize, you're not seeing people for who they are. You're seeing people through what you've been through. So you using the lenses and the scope of everything, something previously happened, or you operate through that bitterness. And when you start to operate through bitterness, ain't nobody good enough, ain't nobody right, you the only person, right? And if we be honest, some of y'all that's watching right now, you don't even trust people that ain't did anything to you. They ain't did nothing to you. Some other people that's in your life right now is paying for the things that people previously done. They just catching the backlash. They just a punching bag because you don't want to deal with your issues. And since you don't want to deal with your issues, you take it out on the people that's closest to you. It might be the people you love. It might be your children. It might be your coworkers. It might be your husband. It might be a wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, mom, dad. You start to take things out on them. And you start to plant seeds of bitterness and resentment inside of your children, inside of your wife, your husband. You start to drop those seeds inside of them, and you wonder why your environment is like it is. Why it's so negative? Why people got something to say? Why people, you put it there. You put it there. And I'm gonna tell you, this how bitterness changed you, right? This how bitterness changed you. Bitterness will turn you into a person that you never planned to be. You used to be patient. You impatient now. I can't deal. I don't do this. I used to be open. Used to be understanding. Now you're none of those things. and this one of the favorite things. Look, I'm just moving different. I'm just moving different. Are you moving different, or are you reacting to your past? You reacting to what other people did to you, because that's the difference. And so that leads me to my next thing. You want to know how you bitter. So I got 5 signs to let you know if you bitter or not, right? First one, you overthink everything. You overthink everything. It ain't, am I saying that you shouldn't sit down and plot out everything? Yes. But anytime somebody say, do, or move around you, you think it's about you, and you think that they are plotting against you. Man, ain't nobody thinking about you. I'm serious. Number 2, you assume negative intent. Just what I just said. You always think somebody up against you. You always think somebody out for the bad. And you always think the worst outcome. Before anything happens, you always think the worst of everything and everybody. They haven't even said or done anything to you. Number 3, you struggle to forgive. You hate to say that I'm sorry. You don't let things go. You hold things to people, small or big, and you never let it go. You always keep that in your head, what they did to me, and that drives the way that you treat people and the way that you do things. Number 4, you hold on to past conversations. Oh, my Jesus. Oh, my Jesus, you hold on to every single word somebody said to you before. You said this. You said that. I remember this. You said, I'm going to tell you, you tape record. Hold on. You record every single situation. You record every single situation, and you save it to the cloud. That cloud is in your heart. Once you save it to the cloud, you download it to your brain. That's your SD card right there. So when somebody talks to you and make you feel some type of way, I'm talking about it could be the truth. And since you got that bitterness inside you and you don't want to accept it, first thing you do, I'm going to log in to my cloud, my heart, and pull out a conversation. Oh, then I'm going to go to my brain. I remember that you said this too. And you're going to attack because that bitterness wants to attack people and not fix the person that the bitterness is coming from. And you wondering why people don't want to be around you. People don't like to deal with you because you got some nastiness inside of yourself that you don't want to fix, but you want to spew it out to everybody else to make them feel bad because you feel bad inside because someone who said or did something to you didn't forgive you, didn't give you the apology that you always wanted. You cannot deal with that. So for the rest of your life, you want to make everybody around you just as bitter, just as nasty as you are. You want to make this environment unhappy so you can feel good about yourself. The last thing, you feel triggered easily. Most people that got that bitterness inside them, man, it's so easy to trigger them and set them off. Any little thing trigger them and set them off and have them mad. They get upset. Oh, you move this piece of paper. Why you move my pen? People are always moving my stuff. People are always doing like somebody is intentionally coming. Like somebody, like you feel that you are so important that somebody would intentionally come to sabotage your life. That's how arrogant some of you bitter people are, that somebody would intentionally come and mess up your life. Somebody would intentionally come to do something to you when they don't care nothing about you. But the funny thing about it is if you're not treated a certain type of way, if people don't do a certain thing towards you, now you bitter and you mad, but you think somebody coming to sabotage you. All that bad thinking. All that stinking thinking. Those are 5 things. So let me ask you this, because I'm going to run back through them real quick. I might put them up. Yeah, I'm going to put them up. 1, overthinking everything. 2, you assume negative intent. 3, you struggle to forgive. 4, you hold on to past conversation. 5, you feel triggered easily. Now I'm going to leave these up here for a second, or you can write them down. If those 5 things, you got a little bitterness inside of you, you need to work out. You got a little bitterness inside. You be like, well, hey, Stan, let me ask you this, man. Let me ask you this. What's up? Let me ask you this. Have you ever been bitter, bro? Absolutely. Have you ever didn't want to let things go? Absolutely. I have. And see, that's why you look on this internet. Let me look at my notes. That's why you see a lot of people searching how to heal from my past. Why you can't move on. Stop overthinking and heal. Because deep down, you feel it. Deep down, that's what you're going. When you by yourself, you looking up those things, man, how I let this go? How I do this? How I do that? And see, and I'm gonna say this too. When it comes down to relationships, this what keeping a lot of people single. A lot of people be like, well, I just don't want to deal with nobody. I just like my freedom. All right, cool. But I'm gonna say this. A lot of them people have that bitterness inside of them that, and to me, relationship is where bitterness do the most damage. It keeps people single. And right here I got in my notes, man, it just don't hurt you. It hurts the people closest to you. You meet someone new, they're trying to love you right, but you question their intentions. You pull back when things get real, and you react based on old wounds. And now they're paying for something they didn't do. That's how bitterness works. It transfers. See, we'll stay, I ain't gonna say we, but a lot of y'all will stay single because you don't want to deal with the issue that somebody else brung on you. You don't want to deal with it. And then you might have children by these past relationships, and you still connected with that person. You might still sexually be connected. You might still be having a conversation with this person. You never cut off that connection, so you can never deal with the way that they treated you within that relationship. And so since you don't deal with how they treated you in their relationship, when somebody else come along, no, because you are really still in a relationship. That person could be gone, married, or whatever, but you never cut off that connection with them. So now you can't seriously love somebody or let somebody love you because I still want, some of y'all still want that person. If we be honest, some of y'all still want to be with y'all ex. Some of y'all still want to do that. But I'm saying, like, you can't properly love someone until you release the other person. Not only release the other person, be okay with what they did to you, how the relationship ended, and you be willing to move on. But you carrying that along, when you get with somebody else, you treating them bad, running people off, wondering why you're single, wondering why somebody just want to come, have sex, and then when something want to get serious, you take off the running because you don't want to deal with those old issues. And let me ask you this. How many good people have you pushed away because of something somebody else did? I want you to think about that. Ask yourself that question. How many good people have I pushed away because of something somebody else did and they had nothing to do with it? And we all heard the term, right? Hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. And sometimes the term is used to sometimes that term is used to describe somebody that they might like. I mean, sometimes that term is used to describe people that someone might dislike because of what they have done, right? And they say they hurt. I'm not using it in that context. What I'm saying is that most people that might be abused, most people that their parents didn't properly love them. Their parents didn't properly raise them. They didn't get the love from the mother or the father that they needed, right? And they never dealt with that. So when it comes to their children, they start to act the same way. Not because they want to act that way. They have been shown a way that kind of works, but they don't want to explore a new way because that new way, I'm going to have to change me. That's the scary part about it. Is like when you in bitterness, when you don't want to forgive, when you don't want to do all those things, I can stay here safely and don't have to work on me. I don't have to accept nothing that's wrong about me. I can blame everyone else, everything else for what I'm doing in my life. All my mess ups, I can go back to say my mom treated me wrong. I can go back to say my dad treated me wrong. My parents wasn't there. This person cheated on me. This person lied to me. I didn't have the best parents. You can go back and always say and have those excuses, right? But the truth is you don't want to put in the work to change. Because with change, it's going to come you putting in some serious work and dedication for months and years to come. This thing don't happen overnight. You done let that root of bitterness just grow a couple of years. It might have been 10, 15, 5 years that this thing has been brewing inside of you and you've been acting a certain type of way. Inside of your body, you can create muscle memory. Even off your past things that you have done, you might not even know it, but you have created muscle memory. You can have guys that went out here that you can have. I just use athlete for example, but you can have even scholars. So they might. You can even use scholars. You can use people in academia, and those people, they have the muscle memory. So if it's problems, if it's math or different skills that they learn, they might not have used those skills for years, but you put some paperwork in front of them it brings back that memory. It's just like muscle. Once they start working it, it just comes back to them. You can take somebody that played basketball. They might have not shot a ball in years. They get the ball in their hand. All of a sudden, the muscle memory start coming back into play. You get somebody that haven't drove in years. That might just say it's a standard shift, and they haven't drove in years, but they get in the car, the muscle memory kick in. Even after you start driving for a while as a new driver, you start to get comfortable. It's muscle memories to know where the signal light at, where the windshield wipers at, how to turn on the lights, how to turn off the lights, the brake, the gas. You learn all those things, and it just comes second nature. So bitterness start to come second nature after you start practicing it for so long. So to undo that muscle memory, you got to start making conscious effort to change your conversation. You got to start making conscious effort not to be around people that act like that. Not to be around people that applaud or agree with your acts that you do. All the bad things that you do. Because that bitterness, you have to start learning to go to your child and apologize for your child for some of the things that you have said or have done. Or to the people that you have said or done. Don't you know some of the people that have said and done the things to you, you'll never get the apology that you want? They'll never apologize to you, or they might even never admit to what they done to you. So how are you going to get over that if you don't get what you want? You're going to have to get over your selfishness and accept the fact I might not never get the apology that I want. I might not never get what I actually need from this person. So I'm going to have to put in the work to actually work on this thing to get better. If you're not careful, bitterness will spread into multiple areas in your life. In my notes, I got your mental health. You overthink. You stay in your head. You replay situations constantly. Relationship. You struggle to trust. You sabotage good connections. At work, you don't collaborate well. You assume people are against you. Your self-worth. You question your value. You close yourself off from growth. Spiritual life. Yeah. Sometimes you're not just bitter at people, you're bitter at God based off the situation that he put you in and what you had to go through. You'll be mad because you might not get what you wanted when you want it. You know, the crazy part about people, and I'm going to veer off a little bit, is that people expect a blessing without any sacrifice. Are you going to sacrifice this bitterness to get on the other side where you can live life free without the bitterness? Are you going to sacrifice them years to work on this, the months to work on this, to get that out of your system to be a better person on the other side of it? So your children can benefit. So your spouse can benefit. The people that surround you, your family, these people can benefit from that bitterness being out of you. And so I'm gonna read this. This scripture comes from Psalms 34:18. This come out the NIV version. I like the way this one read. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and save those who are crushed in spirit. God didn't leave you, but the pain made you feel like he did, but he's still there, right? Okay, we're going to go here for a second. It's Ephesians 4:31-32, and this is the KJV version. This is the King James version right here. It says, let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be ye kind one to another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as God Christ's sake hath forgiven you. It says get rid of it. Not hold on to it, not manage it, but release it. And am I saying it's going to happen overnight? Yeah, you got to constantly work on that thing to get it out your system. So I'm going to go ahead and give you 6 things, right? 6 things to kind of help you heal and let go, right? I'm going to go right here to my notes. Number 1, acknowledge the hurt. Stop pretending you can't heal what you won't face. Acknowledge what these people said or done, or go and talk to someone. Go and talk to the person that you feel that offended you, or maybe talk to someone that's level-headed, someone that's God-led, or it don't have to necessarily be God-led, but somebody that is not looking at from an emotional aspect of the situation. They don't have nothing to do with it. They can give you a different set of eyes on the situation, right? So you got to acknowledge that situation and start to work on that, right? All right, number 2, stop replaying it. Every replay is reopening the wound. Now, I'm going to say this. You could get, when you start talking to yourself, replaying that conversation, like, hey, they said this to me. When I see them, I'm going to say, you start talking to yourself like, hey, when I see them, I'm going to go off. Man, stop doing it, man. Stop doing it. Because you're going to end up talking yourself into, I'm going to approach them, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say that, I'm going to go off and all this. Man, stop doing that, because you're going to work yourself up. And you're going to work yourself up, and when you're not around them, however you working yourself up, whoever around is going to receive that. Number 3, understand forgiveness properly. Understand forgiveness. Forgiveness is not saying what they did was okay. It's saying, I'm not letting this control me anymore. People can say, I done forgave this person. But I'm going to tell you from personal experience, you can say you forgave somebody, you can say you forgave that situation until you get back around them, until they start talking to you. Then that's going to test that forgiveness and see if you for real about if you really forgave that person. Because once you around them, oh man, the enemy start working. Oh, wait. Yeah, you around them now. Say what they said this, they did that. Are you going to let that go? Because people can say, oh, I let that go. I don't want to. Hey, it might take you going around this person a couple of times to start letting that thing go. For real. Because the first time you're around, you might have to talk to them, speak, and you might have to move on. You might can't have a conversation with that person because and certain people, the way that they hit, man, you might have to work on that forgiveness for a little bit. You might still want to slap them. You might say, I done let it go because you haven't been around. You go around, you be like, oh man, I want to slap them again. But it takes time to work some of that stuff out your heart. That's how you know that it's still there. That's how you know when somebody said something or do something similar to what they did and it kind of poke you. That's how you know you haven't let it go, because it still bothers you a lot. Now, as you continue to forgive, it's gonna get better and better. But once somebody do something similar to you, that's how you know it's still there. So starting to work on that thing. Number 4. Give it to God. Yes. Not surface level prayers. I'm talking about that real stuff. See, we talk about, everybody be talking about praying. When have you truly have a sincere prayer with God and really let that thing go? I'm talking about really let that thing go, where you are saying, hey, so-and-so cheated on me, Lord, and I'm having a hard time letting that person go. I'm still in love with them. I still want to be sexually active with them, even though the things that they have done with them, they have done to me. Lord, how can I get this person off my heart? Lord, this person stole money from me. This person got me fired. How can I forgive that person, Lord? Have you had those serious conversations? Like, Lord, I want to cuss this person out. I want to slap this person. Some of us have even contemplated maybe taking someone's life due to the things that they have done to us. Have you seriously had those type of prayers with God, had those type of conversations? Because some of us just want to say the Lord's Prayer and won't get that stuff that's seriously on our heart. You want to pray for a blessing. Lord, Lord, bless me financially so I can stun on them. Lord, bless me with enough money, enough material things. But you still feel the same way inside. You still feel the same way inside. So out of all that material stuff that you get, out of all the money that you get, out of all the accolades that you could possibly get in life, it's still it's not gonna come close to God cleaning out the thing that's bothering you the most. It's not gonna come close to it. Once he clean that up out of you, you start to feel better and really move on. But it's gonna take your part too. He can do what he can do, but it's gonna take part of you letting certain things go and forgiving. Number 5, guard your mind. Be careful about what you keep feeding your mind. Because y'all know that what you look at, it can feed into that bitterness. You got something on the internet that would justify you feeling the way that you feeling about that situation, and they would applaud you and they gonna congratulate you to feel that way, and you don't never get any healing. You don't never get any change. But stop feeding yourself everything negative. Feed your mind something positive about getting out that situation. Number 6, give people a fair chance. Everybody is not your past. And am I saying open myself up, just be gullible, let people do? No, I'm not saying that. But give people a chance. Some people mess up. Some people might be solid people, but because of your bitterness, your distrust, and your unforgiveness, you see everybody is acting shady. You see everybody is trying to get over. And am I saying don't watch people? I'm not saying that. Please watch. Trust but verify. But give people a chance, though. They might surprise you. Give them a chance. I got this right here. Now, at some point, you have to decide, I'm going to keep carrying this, or am I finally going to let it go because what they did to you, it hurt. But what are you doing to yourself by holding on to it? That's hurting you even more. Bitterness feels like control, but it's really a prison. And the door has been open the whole time. You just have to walk out. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve it. Now listen, if it's something that touch your soul, drop it in the comments, man. Yeah, I've been dealing with a little bitterness, man. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Hey, man, I've been dealing with the same thing too. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Until next week, man. Peace.